morning, good afternoon, good night, good evening, man. Whatever time it is you're checking out. I am Paul. This is Pauline Theology's daily devotional. I'm glad you're here as we devote daily to reading the scriptures and trying to pull or glean something out for us to apply in our lives, which is either who God is, who man is, and then just trying, like I said, to apply it to our lives. So I'm glad you're back, glad you're here, glad you're listening. And we're in Ruth, Old Testament, man. We've been going through the New and the Old. We were in the New with Galatians, and now we're in the Old with Ruth. And Ruth is a great story. I've been enjoying reading it and studying it. It has been really good just to go back through some of these stories and trying to pull something out of it, man, because these are beautiful stories that have application and, we can use them today. Even though the culture is different, we can still apply some of these truths because they're universal, man. That's what the Bible is, man. It's a universal book that we can understand and know to live our lives today, man. That's why we study it so much. It's God's word. It's inspired. It's God's word. Ooh, I've been going off on the goodness of God's word because it is powerful. And that's why I'm glad you guys are here as we study, man, as we try and seek and devote ourselves to his knowledge, to know him more. Because, man, that's a powerful thing. Anyway, let's start on Ruth chapter 2, verse 17 through 23. So she gleaned in the field until evening. Then she beat out what she had gleaned, and it was about an ephah of barley. She took it up and went into the city, and her mother-in-law saw what she had gleaned. She also took it out and gave Naomi what she had left after she was satisfied. Her mother-in-law then said to her, "Where did you glean today, and where did you work? May he who noticed you be blessed." So she told her mother-in-law with whom she had worked with and said, "The name of the man with whom I work today is Boaz." Naomi said to her daughter-in-law, "May he be blessed to the Lord who has not withdrawn his kindness to the living and to the dead." Again, Naomi said to her, "The man is our relative. He is one of our closest relatives." Then Ruth the Moabitess said, "Furthermore, he said to me, you should stay close to my servants until they have finished all my harvest." Naomi said to Ruth, her daughter-in-law, "It is good, my daughter, that you go out with his maids, so that others do not fall upon you in another field." So she stayed close by the maids of Boaz in order to glean until the end of the barley harvest and the wheat harvest. And she lived with her mother-in-law. So what's going on is after, getting all the stuff from the field, hanging out with the other maid servants of Boaz, she goes home, hooks her mother up with all the goodies she needs, that wheat and that barley. And her mother-in-law is like, "Wow, where did you get all this, man? Who has blessed you?" Because what she's gotten is more than what a normal person gleaning the corners of the field would get. And she's like, "Man, where did you get all this?" She says, "I got it from a guy named Boaz." And she's like, "Boaz? Oh, I know Boaz, man. That's my relative. He actually one of the close relatives we got." And then she was like, "Man, I mean, he even said that I should stay with his peoples, his maids, man, And Boaz, Naomi recognized that Boaz was doing something special, that he was like really taking care of her, making sure that she's okay, putting, like I said yesterday about the wings under God's protection, under God's wings. So Boaz was putting her under his protection, under his wing, because Boaz puts her there because Naomi actually just tells her straight up. She's like, "Man, yeah, stay with these maids, because if you don't, man, somebody's going to attack you. That's what fall upon you in another field. It's like somebody may assault you or do something terrible to you." And so Boaz is looking out for this girl. So that's awesome, man. What can we say about God? Man, we can always say the same thing. I want to say that God is sovereign. He's taking care of both Naomi and Ruth in this situation. Because we saw earlier, Naomi's tripping, man, because her husband died, her sons have died, and she is left with two daughter-in-laws that she can't take care of. So she sends them away, but Ruth stays, says she wants to be with her. Well, then Ruth finds a place that she can not only glean just a little bit, just to even survive, because really just the corners of the field is probably not going to do a whole lot, but it will sustain you. But instead, she gets part of the choice meats of the barley, and she gets a whole lot of them, and she gets to bring them home, and so they are well fed. They're not just surviving, but they're thriving because of this man. That's why Naomi can proclaim, "Hey, bless this brother, man. Bless this brother." So God is sovereign. What's it say about man? I think that it's saying we need to recognize the blessings of God. I think this is a big theme that is in Ruth. It's just the sovereignty of God. They talk about God oftentimes. Bless God, bless God. May God bless you. The Lord has done this to me. Has stricken me. He has put His hand on me. So I think this is a book that talks about the sovereignty of God, God's overarching work in everything. And so it starts off as seeing the bad that maybe is happening, but God is still in charge. Because now we see that in that bad that Ruth is actually being taken care of. Naomi is being taken care of as a byproduct of that. And she recognizes that and says, may God bless this Boaz. You know? So I think that that's a thing that we need to remember as men, is that God is in charge. And so we need to recognize that. Well, how am I apply this? Well, I think the application comes from the example that I gave, is that we need to recognize God's sovereignty in everything. And I said a couple episodes ago, I said, man, that is the number one thing in my life, is recognizing that God will do good to me. He will be good to me. That is what He said He would do. Of course, He will get the glory, because that's what it's about. It's always about God's glory. And that is the desire of my heart. But in God's glory, in His manifestation of His glory on this planet, in this manifestation of His glory in this universe, in this manifestation of this glory in all the realms, physical and spiritual, He seeks to do my good as well. And that's what He's doing in these people's lives. He's moving and maneuvering to allow good to come in these ladies' lives, where He will receive the most glory. So I pray that you guys will recognize God's sovereignty. Know that He is going to be good to you. If you're called according to His purpose, man, if you're walking in the Spirit, if you're seeking to honor, glorify, and love the Lord, you're going to have the good. And God's going to receive the glory. I appreciate you guys for listening, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I'll talk to you as we continue our study in Ruth. We'll be on chapter 3, guys, so can't wait.